Okay, recording this video after close of trade Monday, 1st of February 2016, and I cannot believe it is February already. Just seems like minutes ago that we had Christmas and New Year's. Anyway, we've had a nice little two-day rally, all sparked out of news by the Bank of Japan that they've gone NIRP, negative interest rate policy, which means negative interest rates on excess reserves that banks hold with the Bank of Japan. And that's the fundamental news that has kind of sparked this rally. So what I'm going to do in this video is walk through Better Pro-Am and show you what the professionals and amateurs were up to, or my read on what they were up to over the last couple of days, because I think that's going to be pretty useful. What I've got here is a 4500 tip bar chart. This is showing the last 2 days activity, Monday's open and Monday's close here. This is the open on the Sunday evening leading into Monday's activity. And then this is Friday's activity, where the rally really kind of started going. The open on Friday and the close on Friday, and this is the pre-open activity. And this is where we have the news out of Japan that they've gone NIRP here. So this is during the Asian day session, and then this is during the European day session. And I said the last video that I had on the Thursday was just saying it would be really nice if we had a kind of a proper bottoming process where we get a neat little pullback to end of trend pattern on the 135-minute chart, and some proper bottoming activity in order to give us a healthy rally kind of going forward. But I gave you a couple of levels, and I said if we broke above 1893, that the uptrend move would be on its way, and it was time to jump on board, because a break above that level would show that we'd done enough bottoming in the last several days, and that the rally was on its way. So as soon as the news came out of Japan, there we go. We broke that 93 level, and then we quickly sold off, and there's the first little blue professional bar, kind of steps in at those lows and holds, and we start this rally. Now, I always find blue professional bars pre-open a little bit difficult to judge directionally what's kind of going on. I think there's quite a lot of noise in that. I really start looking at the first blue professional bars that happen after the open. There's usually one on the open, there's actually one just there, but this little cluster here is really important. That's what I call a gathering pattern. So there's about 4 or 5 little bars side by side, a whole bunch of blue professional bars, and a gathering pattern happens when you have professional activity at some highs like this under a psychologically important or a previous high. This is at the 1900 level kind of going on here. You can see they're accumulating there. Any weakness that kind of goes on, they're just absorbing, and they're willing to jump in, so the average trade size is pretty high. So they're just absorbing any kind of contracts going there, getting ready for this break. And then, so that's a gathering. As soon as we break above that resistance level, we're off to the races. We're into an uptrend kind of going on here. And the next thing that we see is a pretty steep sell-off. You can see better momentum here is a big kind of reading on the way down. That's the volume getting the move going. And this is all of a sudden a little bit of a shakeout, really. But I always say RAMBO patterns. So this is amateur down bar here at new lows. A RAMBO pattern with exhaustion selling is unstable. So that's the amateurs getting wrong-footed at that point in volume. And all of a sudden we kind of break to the highs again, and we start moving to the upside. This is the next important level here. We come down under the previous highs, have a little bit of weakness, and the blue professional bars step in again. We know that they're buying at that weakness because it's a down bar, and we break above the highs of that bar. So they're absorbing any weakness, and then as soon as the price goes above that high, we kind of get confirmation that they were buying on that little dip. So then we set off to the upside again, and always talk about 11 a.m. 11 a.m. being an important kind of time that if we have not reversed by 11 a.m. We're going to continue for the rest of the day, most likely. And here we go. Here's the 11 a.m. window. So at 11 a.m. we're breaking to new highs, and that just means the highest probability is traded continuation to new highs, and that we'll just keep on breaking up and up and up, just pushing a little bit at a time as we go on for the rest of the day to kind of close at the highs. So there we go. That was what was going on. At the end of the day, we got a whole bunch of blue professional bars just taking profits at the end of that move. Who knows if they've been in from here to here, or from here to here, or even this move to this move, but they're just kind of squaring off at the end of the day, kind of getting out of their positions. Now, in the overnight session, you'll often see some amateur bars and some RAMBO patterns kind of early on in the move. Again, I find those difficult to judge directionally, because what's happening there is Better Pro-Am needs a few bars to recalculate. You know, the average trade size in the overnight activity, the pre-open activity, is very different from the day session activity, and so Better Pro-Am is recalibrating what those average trade size are. So I find those RAMBO patterns kind of difficult to judge what's going on there, and I wouldn't trade on that. Coming into the open on Monday, so this is the Sunday night activity into the Monday activity, you can see again a whole bunch of blue professional bars. Directionally, a little bit difficult to kind of understand what they're doing at that point, but in retrospect, you can see they were probably buying the dips there. After a strong up day like this, the rule of thumb is that we usually have 7, 8, 9 times out of 10 we have a continuation of that uptrend move. So buying any weakness at the beginning of the day, expecting us to break above the highs of the previous day, is the high probability trade. And you can see the amateurs during Monday's activity just getting wrong-footed a couple of places. So first of all, they see this weakness kind of going on. We break to new lows at this point, and there we go, the first Rambo pattern kind of generated on the 4500 tip bar chart. The amateurs at that point think we're rolling over, we're going the other way, they're kind of getting short. No, they get wrong-footed. We're going to get that continuation move and break above the high of the previous kind of momentum day up here later on in the day. They try it again. We get close to those highs from Friday, but we don't get through them at that point. We get quite a lot of severe weakness here into another Rambo pattern on the 4500 tip bar chart. Again, they're trying to get short, and it's just the wrong trade, and we kind of play off that up into new highs. Then if I back it down to the 1500 tip bar chart for today's activity, this is the open on Monday, this is the close on Monday, you can see even more Rambo patterns happening at those points. Low here, Rambo, Rambo, Rambo. That weakness there, pullback end of trend at that point there, that's actually this Rambo pattern on the 4500 tip bar chart. So you've got a whole bunch of Rambo patterns kind of going on during Monday's trade, where the amateurs were trying to short this move, desperate to short this move, and so that's kind of the energy that propels us, after we particularly had some exhaustion selling and bullish divergence kind of into this move here, where price holds, we just break to the upsides and we're breaking to new highs kind of up here. That was the strongest move of the day. But I just want you to note that on the 4500 tip bar chart, this one here, this gathering pattern is really important. Close to a psychologically important previous high is a round number, it's a 1900 number, incredibly important. It was an area of resistance that we had here, a gathering pattern pre that open at that psychologically important point, kind of just gets us going for this move to break to new highs here. And then just avoid the amateur activity where they're kind of trying to get short at these points here and here, and then here, here, and here. They're just the wrong trades, kind of going in the wrong direction. The high probability traders that will get a continuation after a momentum day on Friday and break to new highs. That's exactly what we had today. So it's kind of instructive from a professional and an amateur activity perspective over the last couple of days. Now, I just want to show you the highest time frame tip bar chart, because what we've done with this move, let's look at the 4,500 tip bar chart on this multiple time frame view, which gives us the 4,500, the 13,500, and the 40,500 kind of all in one. And you can see this move. Let me just show you the day breaks. So this is Friday's session, this is Monday's session. You can see Friday's strong move and then continuation on Monday into a pullback to end of trend on the highest time frame here. That's signaled by this white dot going on here. We've had our exhaustion buy on Friday with left shoulders being formed, and then Monday's activity is flush patterns kind of going on here, and we've had quite a lot of weakness after the highs in that at that 1940 level, and you can see all these blue professional bars at those highs kind of taking profits after that kind of strong move during the day. We'll need to kind of test back up into that kind of move with Tuesday's activity, but we could see a little bit of weakness on Tuesday after a test back up and kind of lack of buying at these highs in order to kind of roll over and go the other way. So that's kind of what I'm looking for Tuesday's trade, and that's what happened on Friday and Monday. Friday I really enjoyed the trading, got on board. Psychologically it's always a little bit tough when I was hoping for a kind of testing down move, but as soon as we're testing the 1900 levels and going through those, you just have to jump on board. My problem was I wasn't pushing out my profit target. Monday's was very tricky trading. It was only until these kind of amateur patterns kind of came out here. I was going short at this point here, and as soon as that Rambo pattern kind of came in here, I lost money on that trade going down, but then I got in long and actually took out a good trade long 20 out 27, which was nice kind of into this move. I might attach that or show that at a later point. So that was a good one, but it was kind of horrible trading pre that move. So not sure I'm going to trade on Tuesday, just because for me the time zone makes it difficult, and I've got a big day on Wednesday. But I am going to be watching the news out of Iowa. The caucuses there, that's kind of fascinating what's going on there. And it's actually hitting the news feeds here in Australia. We're getting kind of lessons on how caucuses work, so that we can understand, the process out of Iowa and what the results mean. So it's kind of fascinating. I'll be interested to see what goes on there. Anyway, so I hope your trading is going well.